I confronted my husband. Sorry I didn't update sooner, it's been a long awful night. I got out of work early and went to the park and they were there. When I got there I saw she was wearing one of my husband's hoodies and that's when I basically knew everything I thought was confirmed. It was a hoodie that he had bought on a vacation we had gone to as a family. I don't know why, but that's still the thing that I keep going back to, is that she was wearing his hoodie. As I was driving up to the park I was watching them, and if you didn't know them or who they were you would have thought they were one big family. That's how they were interacting. It honestly made me sick seeing how familiar she was with my husband and my kids when I didn't even know who she was. I watched them for a minute and then I saw my husband put his hand around her waist literally right there in front of our kids and I saw red. When I went into the park my oldest son saw me first and said something to my husband. He walked over to me and asked me if I really left work early to come spy on him, and I told him yeah I did. And I was glad I did because I saw him playing happy family with my kids and a random woman. And he told me I was overreacting, that they were playing in the park. He had put his hand on his waist to steady her because she was about to fall and she was wearing his hoodie because it was unexpectedly cold out. Everything he had an answer for. At some point Leah came over and said it was clearly not a good time, and that she was going to take Oliver home. I said something along the lines of you're wearing my husband's hoodie and playing with my kids and you're not even going to introduce yourself to me? And right in front of her my husband flipped out on me and called me rude, telling me that this is exactly why he hadn't introduced me to Leah, and then goes to her. This is what I deal with every f***ing day. She just looked at me and told me her name and then told my husband she'd talk to him later and went to go get Oliver. At this point our boys came back over and asked why Oliver and Leah were leaving, and my husband just told them to get in the car and told me we'd talk about it more at home. When we got there he flipped out on me. He told me that I had embarrassed him and the boys, and of course they defended him 100% and were completely upset at me that I had made Oliver leave and them come home early. I told him that if he wasn't going to act trustworthy, hiding what he was doing, with who, deleting texts, being touchy-feely with another woman, then I wasn't going to treat him with trust. I told him I didn't trust him because it seemed like he had feelings for Leah and was trying to hide it from me. That's when he really lost it and he told me that yes, he has feelings for her. How could he not? Look at the way I treated him. I asked him for clarification. How deep were his feelings for Leah? He wouldn't answer. So I asked him if he'd ever done anything with her. And he said yeah, they kissed a few weeks back. And he was still trying to process all of it and how he felt about her. I lost it and started yelling at him and he didn't try to defend himself. But once I started calling her names he told me to shut up and keep her out of it. Anytime I said something bad about her he flipped out on me, and I think that's what hurt the most was him not caring at all about my feelings or anything like that. But whenever I would say things that were true, like how she was a home wrecker or anything, he suddenly becomes all gallant about defending her honor. Right now I'm staying with my sister since my sons don't want anything to do with me along with my husband. I'm going to go back over there today while the boys are at practice. He's the one doing you wrong but somehow you're the one with the issues? Sickening. Step 1. Take half of the money in your account and put it in a separate one. Do it this morning. Step 2. Secure your credit cards. Step 3. Talk to a lawyer. After that I would sit your boys down and explain to them that Daddy and Ms. Babysitter did something to really hurt Mommy. In a kid-friendly way to help them understand what's happening. I would also reach out to their friend's mom and see if you could set up a playdate when the parents are off work. Hopefully you can work to repair your relationship with your sons. It would be very difficult for you to ever trust your husband again. Especially after neither him or the babysitter is showing remorse for their actions. Can some men not handle having a baby? My husband of 2 years, been together for 6 years, and I had a baby 8 months ago. He has been struggling to feel happy since about 3 months into our baby's life. He's seen a therapist, and after months of serious discussions about how he feels like the life we have was not chosen by him, that he regrets having the baby and is no longer in love with me, he has asked for a divorce. In my opinion our life is amazing. We have a house, money in the bank, we don't fight, and now a beautiful little baby boy. I'm beyond gutted. I never thought I'd be in this position. We aren't in the mad love phase of life, but having a baby requires some sacrifice for a little while, but he doesn't even want to try. I guess I have no choice but to let him go. Is this a thing some men do? Is there anything I could do? Did you two discuss children before marriage? Was he all for it? How was he when you announced your pregnancy to him? The best thing to do at this point is probably divorce because children can sense when they aren't wanted. Sorry you're going through this. This is a thing people do. Not just men. And no, I don't think there is anything you could do about it. Has he been evaluated for postnatal depression? Yes. I also don't have kids in my life plan, so if I had one I would be super annoyed and miserable. His mistake was staying and agreeing to it when he knew he didn't want one. He didn't want kids. He hasn't changed his mind. Let him go. So very sorry for you, but be strong. Move on and don't look back. Coworker I think is jealous after learning I'm dating someone and it's getting too awkward. I, M22, was interested in a coworker, F22, about a year and a half ago. We had a good thing going for a while, done some deeds lol and had some fun with each other, but then all of a sudden after asking her if we should be a thing or stay in the FWB sphere, she kinda freaked after that and got a mutual friend of ours to tell me she's not looking for a relationship and that she just wanted to remain friends. Was kinda pissed at that time but had put that behind me and just continued on as normal. Fast forward to now and one of my friends in work let slip I am dating someone. Lo and behold, she overheard that and ever since is basically acting as if I'm dead. In work she doesn't talk to me or even acknowledge me being there. At 2 work parties since she would always turn her back on me if I came over to the table she was at. Just basically acting as if I am the devil incarnate who just murdered everyone in a children's hospital. NGL I don't know what's the next step now. We work in a pretty communication and collaboration heavy workplace and really can't afford for this to go on longer than it already has. Just really don't know how to approach this. Keep it professional. As someone who went through the same scenario, some things are best left unsaid. Only if it starts impacting your work should you mention it to a supervisor etc. or our. But under no circumstances should you start setting up work meetings to discuss a personal matter, as this could be seriously misconstrued. Best idea is to talk to the friend, mention any concerns and see if there's something going on. If you then think it can be resolved by talking to her alone, then reach out to her directly. My girlfriend constantly says that she is going to cheat on me. After a month of me and my girlfriend dating, I told her about my parents' relationship, about how my dad cheated on my mom. Ever since then she'll constantly bring up cheating and always says, "IDK, maybe you're gonna cheat on me." Or she'll say, "What if I cheat on you?" When I confronted her about it she says that she's just joking and that it's supposed to be funny. I don't think anything about cheating or implying cheating is a joke or funny. All it does is just cause problems in a relationship and insecurity for no reason. The last time I confronted her about it she said, "I can't believe you would think I'm this type of person. I just joke about it, but I would never be the type of person to actually do it. You don't trust me." To me that makes no sense. It just sounds like she is trying to defend herself with whatever came up in her mind at the time. Because if you weren't that type of person, why would you even mention cheating all the time? What is the point of that other than to make me insecure or jealous for what? If your significant other constantly told you that they were going to cheat on you, eventually it'll get into your head and it'll always be at the back of your mind. Another thing I don't understand is why she doesn't understand where I'm coming from, because her biological dad cheated on her mom, which is the reason her parents got divorced. I thought she out of everyone would be able to empathize with me. I don't know what I should do to get my point across. A friend of mine dated someone who would tickle her during sex. She hates being tickled in general, and told him to stop. He did, then started again a half-minute later. They stopped dating pretty quickly after that. When someone repeatedly jokes or teases with you, when you've made it clear that you don't like it or want it, they don't respect you. You don't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't respect you. It's only been a month. She's a terrible person for saying this all the time. Dump her. Prepare yourself for getting cheated on if you are staying in this RP. This is a huge red flag. Dating is what you do to find out if you're compatible enough to each other to make the relationship official with a view to the long term. Sounds like you need to decide if she is who you want before you waste any more time on her. Leave her. She is manipulating you.